to interact with their horses. It's expensive. The horses can be, in fact, few animals are more expensive than horses. There's a reason they're referred to as hay burners, because the horse eats the hay. He passes out the back end in the form of horse manure, and usually they produce nothing for the consumption of the hay. Whereas a cow, a steer, a heifer will consume the hay and put on flesh, which is then sold for other people to consume. Horses are hay burners, and they are expensive, and so is their tack. But the tack needs to be taken care of. I mean, needs foot oil, it needs to be cleaned, it needs to be dry, you can't let it mold, you can't let the mice chew on it. That's what a tack room is for. After the property, after the buildings, you can talk about, or hear people talk about, grasses and cover crops. The grass, which is only mown in the city, is fed in the country. It's the grass that nature grows, that the animals that we've just talked about, ideally, can, if not live on, at least largely live on. If you have enough property that the grasses and cover crops can sustain the animals that you have, what a beautiful balance that is. And if you don't, then you have to buy the hay, or sometimes silage for cattle, but let's just say hay and grain that your animals need. But there are all sorts of pasture. There are hillside pasture, there's flat pasture, there's pasture that is sub-irrigated. That is, nature just tends to have water underneath the grade within reach of the roots. Sub-irrigation is something that you will hear as being desirable. There are alfalfas and clovers and timothy, different types of alfalfa, of course, is a hay crop. Alfalfa puts nitrogen back into the soil, so it is also a cover crop. Cover crops speak to the crops that can be put on a field after the crop that has been taken and sold has been harvested, to let the field rest, because the cover crop is also referred to as green manure. It will input nitrogen and then is tilled right back into the soil as a natural soil amendment fertilizer. Cover crop. Fescue is a type of grass. Okay, bales, round bales, square bales, hand bales. When I was a kid around here, hauling hay was something we all did or tried to get out of in the summer. The bales, these two-twine bales, they weighed from 40 to 60 or 70 pounds. Three-string bales, especially alfalfa bales, would be 100 pounds, 110, heavy. And now, at least partially as a result of the fact that it's hard to find kids who aren't tied up with school who can come and help you on your farm, hay is usually handled with tractors. Forks, spears, round bales, big square bales. You'll know what they're talking about if they say a round bale. It's not cylindrical. Check that. It's not spherical, it's cylindrical. Sometimes haylage is made by putting round bales of grass hay into plastic sleeves, big white plastic tubes. And you put it in there and it rots. And as it rots and breaks down, it makes vinegar. It gets very strong smelling, and cows love it. Haylage. Different than silage. Silage is usually chopped corn. Field corn is grown. It is chopped with choppers that blow it into trailers and wagons that haul it and dump it in silage pits where it ferments and is fed to often dairy cattle. Now let me back up. I didn't mention the fact that in each of the subdivisions of different animal species, there are breeds or strains. And the most obvious thing that you should become familiar with is the difference between beef cattle and dairy cattle. Chick-fil-A, it's such a misnomer because they have Holstein cattle as their spokespeople, right? Eat more chicken, C-H-I-K-N. Holsteins are milk cattle. When I was growing up, we had milk cows. And at one point we had a Holstein cow, Patches, and a Guernsey cow, Flo, and they both came fresh at the same time. That meant both those cattle had babies. Flo had twins, Patches had a single, and Patches immediately began to give 8 gallons of milk per day. Holsteins are big producers. And Flo, a Guernsey, was giving 5 or 6 gallons of milk per day. We were swimming in milk. We had bottle babies,